Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Rodney and this is Shedskin Ideas. I'm discussing my idea for the last Naruto game that I believe fans deserve to play and experience. We're on part 2 of the open world mode of Shinobi Universe. If this is your first time here, please go back and watch the previous episodes so you can get the big picture of this content. I previously discussed 2 out of the 4 modes of my idea, story mode and battle mode, also one half of Shinobi Universe open world Naruto mode. Before I begin, please slam that like button and subscribe. Feel free to comment and talk amongst the communities and share this with a Naruto weeb and your friendly gamer, geek, or developer. Thank you. Let's start the game. A bright light illuminates, and the light takes form of a floating orb. You are this light. You are immediately greeted by Hagoromo. I've been expecting you. We don't have much time. Let's get started. The birth date bar appears. This is where you put in your birth date. Alright, follow me, he responds. Where am I, you ask? Hagoromo replies, you're in the astral world. The reason why you're here is because the physical world needs you. This is the reflection fountain. Please take a look. You look into the fountain. This is where you create your physical appearance. After completion. Wow, is this who I am? You ask in curiosity. Hagoromo. That is who you are on the outside. Follow me. Let's discover more about yourself. This is the eternal gate. We will discover your inner self. Place your hand on this stone in order to enter. This is when you assign your first primary set of stats. Hagoromo responds, you were born on this date, so these are extra gifts you were born with. Depending on your astrology, Eastern and Western, you'll receive 4 additional points on your elemental chart. Hagoromo. Assign more life force energy to the 4 pillars. You have 20 for skill, 15 for elemental nature, 10 for chakra nature, and 10 for your 6 senses. Let's go over the skills. After introducing the skills, elements, chakra, and senses, you'll be displayed basic examples of each. Skills you can have: taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu, medical, fuinjutsu, kenjutsu, bakijutsu. The elements you can have: fire, earth, lightning, water, and wind. Chakra types are yin, yang, chakra reserves, and chakra control. And your 6 senses: sight, hearing, smelling, taste, touch, and intelligence. You finish assigning your stats. A huge door appears, a split between the void. Follow me. You walk down a long, wide, spiral stone stair set attached to the sides of the room. You look to your left, and down below you see what looks like a maze. We've arrived. Before us are 5 pathways. They intersect. Each path is marked with its dominant nature: fire, earth, lightning, water, and wind. You're going to have to choose your bloodline. Each of these paths will lead you to where you want to specialize when you embark onto the physical world. If there is something in specific, go back and find the gate you're wishing for. You will see tablets. You'll choose 2 when you're finished. Find me at the gate, and I'll lead you to the beginning to the end. You select your tablets, and a purple orb appears, and you follow the orb, and you see Hagoromo above on a massive stair set. You arrive. Are you ready? He walks and you follow, and you see the space open and narrow. You look back and you see nothing but the astral world, except you're on a cliff. I would like you to have a gift before you leave. Please select what you believe compliments you. You see 4 items. A money bag for an additional 8%. A wooden sword that absorbs chakra. A traditional sage robe for chakra control. A meditation mat set for chakra training. Hagoromo, with a little smirk, responds with, "Wise choice. While it's time, you were meant for great things." You're at the edge of the cliff. To the left, you see the sand. On the top, you see stone. On the left, you see the clouds. And underneath the clouds, you see mist. And to the left, you see a leaf. This is where you select your village. You jump, and as you're falling through the sky, you get younger and younger. And before you hit the ground, the screen goes dark. And in gold kanji, from top to bottom, Shinobi Universe. Faint audio increases, an intro rock musical piece plays, and you see animation, and after the opening musical animation, dom, 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 traditional percussion. You hear crying, and you see 2 adults carrying a child. That child is you. Depending on where you were born, different events are happening in the background. Your parents are about to give your name. The name bar is shown. This is where you select your name. Alright, we're going to stop there. You were probably expecting more, and I understand. Maybe in the future I'll go deeper and read more in-game scenes. But it gets more complex because each village is different, and depending on your bloodline, your introduction will be different. If you select Inuzuka, how do you get a ninja dog if you're from the Stone Village? I'll tell you. So one of your parents is a spy, and several scenarios can happen. Your mother gets caught, and she summons a dog to take you to the Hidden Leaf Village, or you and the ninja dog go explore on your own. Or you get a dog, but not a ninja breed, like the ninja breed hounds are, I'm sorry, your mother will have a ninja hound. Or you can get a ninja dog like Kankashi's hounds, like his pack. Also, you should know is if your parents get in prison, you can rescue them, but before that happens, you need to know many things. Where's the jail cell? How do you enter the village without getting caught? Your parents aren't as strong as they once were, so so do you have the ability to escape with them? In your Hokage's office, when taking missions, there will be what's called special missions. That's how you would rescue your parents. I'll also remind you, if you're from the Mist, you have to make special choices. Do you have a special Genkai? You can save them at the time of incident, depending on your strength and the timing of when you have to take action. You taking action could give you and your parents a chance to escape, but even then, you may escape with your parents, but you aren't guaranteed that both of them will make it out. Also, if one of them or even both of them get caught, they will not be in prison. If you try to save them in other villages and they have Genkai Genkai, they will go to a special somewhere from the movies, and if you were to get them out, they would go back to the friendliest village they're allowed in. Example would be an Uchiha parent and spouse wouldn't go back to Konoha. They would go to a non-Uchiha village. If both of your parents are from the Leaf or either the Mist, they will take refuge in a smaller village. If you start the game as an Uchiha and choose Leaf Village, you will have one parent, but no one will know that you're an Uchiha bloodline. And after you know what happens, you wouldn't even know until the Chunin exams. That's if a certain event happens, and if that certain thing does happen, and you don't have a special something that blocks your face or special features that you have, you may be targeted by a creepy white snake sage. Don't let this happen if you plan on training with a not so creepy sage. I don't want to say too much, but take that information and let your mind wander. If you end up leaving the village under whatever circumstance, there are many other small villages around that you can take refuge and become a citizen of. Or you could find other rogues or other outcasts and create an organization or join existing organizations that perhaps want to show pain or something like that. Some cool things can happen when you explore the open world. You can learn new things from NPCs, have pervy adventures, gamble with grannies, and strive for power with a creepy snake sage. In the village, you'll free roam as a young child before you get into the academy, and you can help NPCs and get good reputation. You can get bullied by people, little kids, and just typical children stuff. You go out and explore, and you kind of get used to your character, but in a cute, I guess, young way. And after X amount of time, you start the academy, and you take X amount of classes, and you learn the basics again from the other modes. Build your first set of ranking points, and when you graduate, you get your very own headband. So I did mention situations where you and your parent could get persecuted. Just to make things a bit clear, after the tuning exam, most persecutions can happen, but depending on your deeds and how well you do in the tuning exams, they can see you as an asset. But the Mist Village is a different story. One more time, being clear for you guys, Mist Village is the equivalent to hard mode. Everything else is normal. But there is a point where you will not be looked necessarily down upon. But in your early ages of your life, it's extremely difficult, especially if you're trying to have a high rank, low KDR, and all that. But once you get to this certain point, this cap, you can be an infamous Miss Shinobi, and you won't be persecuted. But there's no guarantee that someone might put a hit on you. Depends on really the nature of online players. So have your stats high. Keep them up. Keep them up. Stay vigilant. Stay alert. Stay alive. So after you graduate and you get your headband, you'll get your sensei. I would love for 20 new original characters from the man himself to be the guides to your shinobi. Next would be taking on missions with your team and new sensei. So every online player that shares your sensei, you can party up with. Any other shinobi with a different sensei, you'll have to be a tuning, or they would have to be a tuning themselves for y'all to take missions together. So say me and you are friends in real life, and we have different senseis. Same village, different senseis. In order for me and you to take on these missions together, is if I'm a tuning or you're a tuning and we request for a special shinobi to be a part of our team. But before that happens, say some random person playing in Canada and some random person in Japan, it probably wouldn't work that way realistically because of servers, but they have the same sensei as me. When we take on a mission that involves our sensei, the only people that I would be partied up with or loaded with would be people that have the same sensei. I've said that in 5 different ways. I hope that's clear. So if you're tuning, you can ask for special requests and have whoever it is that you like from your very own from the village that you're from join you, and you can create your 4-man team, build reputation, and gain extra intelligence when you lead your team to victory. So after 1.5 months after release, hoping that the story mode takes 2 weeks to finish, the very first event, the tuning exam, will occur. The first chance to become tuning event from Naruto will happen, but if you successfully win on the final round, you will become a tuning. So we know what happens in the final round. Crazy attack happens. Gaara goes berserk. All that happens. So events from Naruto will happen, and if you make it that far and you win, after that whole arc gets completed, you will be rewarded as a chunin. Kind of how, like, they said Shikamaru got his vest and all that. They said, "You're dope. Here you go." You know, we don't really know who the winner is, but what we've observed, you are qualified enough to be a tuning. So that's how that would work in the game sense. You just make it to the top and you win at the very end. Not the whole bracket match. Just win once and you become tuning. If so you have 3 chances starting at the beginning, and everything you gain will be taken away. Experience, curse marks, and as long as you haven't died, you won't get a death on your record. So say you didn't make it to the end, you have a chance to start over. But everything you gain from from point A to point B is taken away when you start again. And after 3 chances, if you haven't become a tuning. That's just how it is. But everything you receive on the last attempt that you do, you will keep. And after the attunement is the retrieval arc. The game design will be structured as in the arcs that happened in Naruto, the bosses from the movies, and other crazy moments. They will pop up as special missions. So be sure to do every special mission when it's available, because these missions can go away. So special missions will have special items that you can only get while you do those. And if you don't do those missions, the only way to get those items would be if someone's in the market selling those things. Or you get in a fight with someone in the free roam world and you eliminate them and you go through their inventory. And you just happen to come across it. And also, when you find an item on someone and you take it, that person doesn't lose it. And so, say I get eliminated and I have a legendary sword. And you take that legendary sword. When I restart my game, I will still have my sword. It won't really be taken away. But it's a way for you to obtain things that you haven't, while the other person doesn't get completely punished. I think that would just be too complicated to make. I'm just trying to imagine what kind of code would you have to create in order for that to work when it's online. Do you know how many people would play and how many things would have to just and then get erased and then non-erased, and it's too much. So if you find a sword on me and you take the sword, I'll still have the sword at the end of the day, and you acquired a new special weapon or tool or whatever it is that you find and you want to take, is you got it. So in your village, if someone needs another shinobi to take on a mission, they'll go to the Kage. The Kage will send a request to all players in the village, and a little bird or some type of summon will pop up, and you can accept or decline. So if I'm trying to find someone and I send out a request and no one's wanting to join me for whatever reason, I can add an extra incentive to get others to join. So say I'm gonna get X amount of money, or the mission's worth X amount of money. It all gets divided in 4. I can get that percentage that I'm gonna get, and I can break that down to give to others to add. Why wouldn't someone join you? Maybe because they don't know you and they don't want to mess up their KDR. Why should you give a portion of your reward to others? Well, it's quite simple. When you when you lead a mission, you get extra stuff. You get extra intelligence. You yourself will get extra money. So if it was $100 and we all get 25, technically the one who leads it would get more. So maybe I would get 50 and everyone else would get 25. I know that doesn't add to 100, but I'm just saying the person who leads gets extra incentive, so it helps give to others and so forth. When you take on missions, you will somewhat fast travel. And this fast travel will cut the distance so you don't have to spend so much time getting to where you're trying to go. And once you get these checkpoints, you can always go to these spots and explore the spaces in between after mission completion. So say hypothetically it's a 5-day trip, and you walk out the gate, you're running, you're boosting, and it just takes freaking forever to get to where you're trying to go. I want to cut that out. I want it to take you to a specific spot, have some type of event happen, whether it be bandits messing with you or you, and this would all be just chance, algorithm, probability. I don't know, but it'll be random. I'll just say random. You get to this checkpoint, you chill there for a little bit. Maybe there'll be some bandits, maybe there'll be a spot for you to rest, whatever. And then after that time, it'll give you, let's just say, 5 minutes to free roam in this checkpoint. You come back to that checkpoint, you meet up with your team, you go to the next one, whatever it may be, and then you do the mission. And then after the mission, you just automatically show up at the Kage's office, and you now officially have these checkpoints, and you can go fast travel to these checkpoints and explore between the marks that you just created or unlocked. So that's a good way to kind of explore on your own terms, and also not force you to spend your time just trying to get a single mission complete. It's getting missions done fast, and also the luxury of going as far as you want and explore wherever it is you want, like that. So in your menu bar, you can enhance your abilities. And it'll be I say unlock. So you want to unlock certain abilities, you want to enhance certain abilities. To find out the qualifications to unlock or enhance certain abilities, you would go onto this menu bar, and it will show all the moves that you know, and it will tell you everything that you can do to that specific move. Example, Shadow Clone. What does it take to make 3 or 4 or 5 of them? Do you need more chakra? Are you lacking in making one because of your chakra control? Phoenix Fire. Do you shoot 5 and do you want to make the phoenixes bigger? Or do you want to shoot 12 instead of 5? Or Shadow Possession Jutsu. You have one shadow, or do you want that shadow to split into 3 or to 30? Add element to your jutsu. Maybe the Shadow Possession Jutsu. Maybe you want to bind someone and add lightning and shock them, paralyze them, do additional shocking damage. Or maybe you want to add fire to your Rasengan. Are you a good or bad character? What color will your Susanoo be? Your encounters with NPCs can dictate where you lean on this good and bad scale. It's not going to be a bland system where every action that you do is going to be judged. If you hurt someone, is that someone bad or good? We don't know. So instead of that system of judging who you are, it would actually come down to dialogue. It'll judge you off of your feelings, your reasoning, and the outcome that you want. Certain NPCs will be able to read you like a book, find out where you tilt on the scale, so be careful with who you talk to and how you respond, especially if you're trying to be friends with someone who you know is bad. So imagine Aruka coming towards you, and he asks you these questions, and you answer these questions. Maybe it will be Hiruzen who asks you questions. Maybe it will be Tsunade, just a whole bunch of characters that you meet in the game. It will record and process all those things throughout the time you've been playing to see how you evolved. Did you start off power hungry, sad, sensitive, and you got better? Are you back to feeling sad? And it kind of, there would be some type of algorithm based on these three things to know exactly where you lean. And depending on where you are on that scale will determine the kind of relationships you can have. And what I mean by that is certain NPCs will be able to read you like a book, where you tilt on that scale. So be careful with who you talk to and how you respond. So maybe you come across an Akatsuki member and you kind of want to befriend them so you can sneak in, infiltrate, eventually attack, steal information, whatever it may be. If you don't lean on a certain scale and have a certain amount of abilities, specifically in the senses category, then you can get attacked by these members. And as you know, they're pretty tough members. But if your whatever your intentions are, if you have the right skill sets and you lean on the right part of the scale, you could possibly get an advantage of getting what it is you're trying to get. There's a specific Akatsuki member that I really like, and I was thinking in the game it would be cool to learn a specific secret jutsu and that person teaching me. But his partner might not trust me, and then it becomes a fight and this and that would affect my KDR. And they are tough, so you would have to be tough, and you can't beat the Akatsuki. I'll just put it that way. You could probably beat them in a battle mode, like they will acknowledge your strength, but you're either gonna have to flee or just die, because it does incorporate the actual Naruto world. It's just the world does shift a little bit to have your presence in it. As I said, with the Uchihas, there should only be two, technically three Uchihas. I mean, depends on 4, then one gets, you know. So there shouldn't be 100 of them or 1,000 Uchihas. But the acquisition of the tailed beasts are very essential plot points to the whole series of Naruto. So you can't beat them. You can only get acknowledged for your strength, but you're gonna have to bounce if you can't befriend them. I admit it all sounds simple, but this idea has been in my mind for 6 years. Getting this developed would take lots of work, but the mechanics aren't unheard of. We've seen aspects of these in other games before. There's so much more to Shinobi Universe I wish I could share in a genjutsu, but this is the best I can do. I don't want to dump so much on you. The most difficult part of the game would have to be the online aspect of how it all connects. Last thing we want is the game to start off as Shinobi Strikers did. Alright, there you have it. That's Shinobi Universe in the simplest I can articulate. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if I get 1K, I'll tell you what other bloodline I choose to go with the Uchiha. If I get 3K, I'll tell you all playable characters in battle mode and all characters you can choose from to create your own shinobi. Next up is Battle Royale. Is there any hype on this idea? Or did Shinobi Universe take too much shine? Either way, Battle freaking Royale, next episode. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.